Hi, my name is Sarah and welcome to Move Movement Yoga. Today we're going to be working on a bit of a hip sequence. Working with the hips sometimes can help relieve any sort of lower back pain that you might experience, and our hip area is also a place that we might tend to hold on to emotions. So hopefully this little flow will help you find a bit more spaciousness and mobility in this area and just overall some yumminess. I love working on the hips, so I hope you enjoy this. You will potentially need 2 blocks if you have them. If not, it's not too much of a big deal. We'll only be using it for a short part of the sequence. If not, you can try without, or if you have books that are accessible to you, you can also use those. If you would like to find me on any other part of the internet, I'm going to leave my Instagram and my Facebook, and you can contact me there. Otherwise, let's get started with today's class. Alright, so to begin today's class, we're just going to come into a wide knee child's pose. So bring your big toes together and take your knees out wide to the edges of your mat. Just begin to walk your hands forward and just drop the crown of your head down. While you're here, allow yourself to be weighted, drawing the heart down. And just spend a few moments just tuning in to the natural rhythm of your breath. If you would like, this is a great time to set a small intention for how you want this class to unfold. Or maybe just setting an intention for the rest of your day, the tone of the day. Continue to breathe nice and deeply. Take a nice long inhale through the nose, and as you exhale, sigh to release. Then when you're ready, slowly walk the hands back towards you and come into a tabletop position. Make sure your wrists are underneath your shoulders and your knees are underneath your hips. We're just going to begin by drawing the right leg back. We're going to find some rocking motions back and forth. So I want you to spread the fingertips nice and wide, claw into the mat, and just work to draw the heel back. Just finding a little bit length through the crown. And then come back into a neutral position and then draw the back heel up. So see if you can keep a nice straight line from the crown of the head and the heel, flex the foot. And then you're going to begin to bend the knee, draw the sole of the foot up towards the ceiling. So we're creating a nice 90-degree angle with our leg. Then from here, you're going to begin to rotate your knee out towards the side. So really pull the knee up, but see if you can try and keep your hips leveled. Then nice and slow, you're going to lower your knee down and you come back into a tabletop position. So we're going to do that again, but we're going to reverse it. So draw the knee out first towards the side, then begin to rotate, kick your foot back, find that 90-degree angle, slowly lower the knee down. One more time, inhale, come up, slowly begin to rotate your knee out towards the side, lower down, and we'll finish the set off by reversing it. The knee comes out towards the side, rotate the knee out towards the back, and then slowly lower down into your tabletop position. Then from here we'll do one more, kicking the leg out, rotating the knee out towards the side, but this time you're going to straighten the leg. So really flex the foot, draw the foot up towards the ceiling, then nice and slow, lower the edge of the foot down. Slowly walk your hands back towards you, come up into a standing on your knees, bring your right hand onto your thigh. Inhale, take your left fingertips up towards the ceiling, and then as you exhale, begin to lean. So we're working into a side body stretch here. You can walk your hand further down your leg if that's accessible to you, and just rotate your lower ribs up towards the ceiling. Then when you're really nice and slow, we come up. Then plant the left hand down onto the mat, and you're going to take your right arm up towards the ceiling. Eye gaze goes up. You can stay here in this modified side plank, or if you want to go a little further, see if you can pick up your right foot. Flex it, draw the navel in, really ground down through the hand, and then nice and slow, come back into your tabletop position. I'm just gonna adjust myself so you guys can see me face on, and we'll go through the sequence again. So from here, take the left leg back, rock back and forth. Work into the wrists, draw the heel back. Feel a bit of lengthening in the back of the leg. Then on your next breath, draw your heel up towards the ceiling, nice straight line from the crown of the head and the heel. And then slowly begin to bend your knee as you bring it into a 90-degree angle. Then begin to rotate your knee out towards the side. Really pull the knee up, really working the outer hip here. Then slowly release back into your tabletop. Inhale, take the knee out to the side, pull up, then slowly rotate, draw that knee behind you, come back into your tabletop position. One more set, draw the knee up, rotate it out towards the side, slowly lower down. Inhale, draw it out to the side, and then slowly rotate it behind you, come back into your tabletop position. Then last one, draw the knee up behind you, rotate it out towards the side, and this time you're going to extend the leg out. So really squeeze up, work the outer hip. Then nice and slow, bring the edge of the foot down. Walk your hands back towards you. Come up into a standing position. Left hand comes down, right arm comes up. Reach through the fingertips, and then as you exhale, begin to lean. Maybe take your eye gaze up towards the ceiling, reach through the fingertips. Rotate the lower ribs up. Then nice and slow, right hand comes down. Take the left arm up. Modified side plank, ground down through the fingertips. And if you want to challenge yourself, maybe pick up the left leg. Flex the foot, take the eye gaze up. Then nice and slow, come back down into your tabletop position. So I'm just going to readjust myself. If you have blocks, bring them either side of your mat so they're accessible. From here, we'll come into our first downward facing dog. So ground down through the hands, pick up the knees and draw the hips up. If you need to, pedal through the feet. Maybe swaying the hips from side to side. Then you're going to draw the right leg up towards the ceiling. You're going to bend the knee and drop the foot over towards the left side of your mat. You can also find some rotations with the knee if you find that that feels good, moving in one direction and then the other. Then I want you to draw your knee in towards your chest, plant the foot at the top of the mat between your hands, drop your back knee. Then just bring your hands onto your knee. I want you to really draw up through the crown of the head and then see if you can straighten your arms. Breathe into the hip flexor. Then inhale, sweep your arms up, take your eye gaze up. Exhale, draw your arms behind you. Inhale, draw up. Exhale, arms go behind. Last one, inhale. And as you exhale, bring your fingertips down, grab your blocks, shift your hips back, and we find our half splits. So root through the heel, draw the toes towards the face, bring the blocks close to the body. Push down into the blocks as you inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, fold. Two more, inhale. Exhale. Last one, inhale. And on your next exhale, this is where you're going to need the highest height of your blocks. So we're going to work the hip flexors by pulling up. So what I want you to do is have your blocks close to you, push down, find a slight rounding of the shoulders, draw the navel in, see if you can pick your heel up. Really flex through the heel and toes towards the face and squeeze the inner thighs. Really squeeze, 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 and see if you can point the toes. Flex, point, flex, point, flex, point, squeeze, 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 and then nice and slow, lower the foot down. Remove your blocks, take your front foot to the edge of the mat and bring your hands underneath your shoulders on the left side. We find our lizard pose here. So I want you to come onto the edge of the front foot and drop your toes out to a diagonal. Ground down through the hands, keep the chest lifted, eye gaze forward. It's up to you. You can stay here with your back knee tucked, back knee down, or you can pick up your back knee. Nice strong legs. So we've got our lizard pose here. Connect to the breath. Then nice and slow, lower your back knee if it's lifted. Find your block again. Bring your left hand down onto the block in front of your face and then reach your right arm up. Then from here, you're going to draw the back heel towards you. If you can reach for it, reach for the foot. But if not, imagine that there's a little nut between your legs and you're squeezing. So really squeeze, 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 and see if you can continue to lean forward into the hip flexor. Connect to the breath. And then nice and slow release. Remove your block. Then pivot your front foot towards the middle of your mat. And then you're going to pivot your back foot out to the right side. Then you're going to really open out to the long side of your mat. You're going to draw your arms up like you're in a warrior two. Take your eye gaze to the middle finger. As you inhale, lean forward. As you exhale, draw yourself back and then sit down onto your heel. Inhale, come up, lean forward. Exhale, come back, sink down. One more, inhale, lean up. Then go forward. Exhale draws you back, sink down. Then bring your hands down. Pivot your back foot. Ground down through the hands and we find our plank position. Here, move through your chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Tuck the left toes and then point the right toes behind you. Then use your toes to draw you back. Three-legged downward dog. Then nice and slow, bring the leg down and find your regular downward facing dog. Connect to the breath. And we move to the other side. Left leg comes up, bend the knee and drop the foot over towards the right side. Really ground down through the hands. Then draw the left knee in towards the chest, plant the foot between the hands at the top of the mat, drop the back knee. Bring your hands onto your knee and first draw up through the crown of your head. And then as you inhale, begin to lengthen your arms. Then nice and slow, inhale, sweep your arms up, take your eye gaze up. Exhale, sweep the arms behind you. Inhale. Exhale. Last one, inhale. Reach up nice and high. And then as you exhale, bring your fingertips down and then reach for your blocks. Shift your hips back, find your half splits. Ground down through the heel and flex the toes towards your face. Inhale, lift the chest, find length through the spine. Exhale, melt. Two more, inhale. Exhale. Last one, inhale. And then on your next breath, find your highest height. Push down through the hands, so find a little rounding through the shoulders, engage your core. Then as you inhale, pick your heel up. Squeeze your legs together. And then point, flex, point, flex, point, flex, point, squeeze, 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 squeeze. Then nice and slow, lower down. Move your blocks, shift your weight forward. Bring your hands underneath the shoulders on the right side as you take your front foot out towards the left. Come onto the edge of the foot and point the toes away from you. Take the same variation you did on the other side. So if your back knee was lifted, lift it, push down through the hands and take your eye gaze forward. Keep your energy lifted, back thigh draws up and connect to the breath. Then when you're ready, drop the back knee down. You're going to grab your block, place it underneath your face. Right hand comes onto the block. Extend the left arm up. Make sure the back knee is dropped. And then you're going to begin to draw the foot towards your sit bone. So really squeeze. And if you can reach for your foot, you can. But if not, just keep squeezing the foot towards you. Keep sinking into the front hip. Maybe take the eye gaze behind you. Slowly release. Bring your hands down. Remove your block. Then walk your foot to the middle of your mat, your front foot. Pivot your back foot out so it faces the long edge, and then inhale, draw your arms up into a warrior two. Take your eye gaze forward. Your next inhale, lean forward, and as you exhale, come back, sink down. Inhale draws you up, lean forward. Exhale, come back, sink down. Last one, inhale, lean forward. Exhale, come back, sink down. Next breath, bring your hands down, pivot your back foot, push down through the hands, find your plank position, move through your chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And I apologize, we missed the side where we draw the leg up. So just come into your three-legged dog, point the left toes up. Really reach through the toes. And then nice and slow, we come down. Connect to the breath. From here, take your eye gaze forward, and you can step or hop towards the top of your mat. Inhale to a flat back, eye gaze goes forward. Exhale, melt over the thighs. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Eye gaze goes up. Exhale, hands through center. Connect to the breath here. Then from here, ground down through the soles of the feet. Shift the weight into the left side, draw the right knee up into the air. Squeeze your inner thighs towards each other, and then see if you can point your toes forward. Nice and long through the crown of the head. Then nice and slow, you're going to begin to rotate your leg out towards the side. You're going to bring it behind you. You're going to bend into the standing leg, and you're going to plant the back foot parallel to the short edge. So we come into our warrior two stance. Extend the arms out, take your eye gaze forward, nice and long through the crown of the head. Then from here, interlace your hands behind your back, puff your chest up, and as you exhale, begin to fold down into your humble warrior. Push the energy down through the soles of the feet. Connect to the breath. Then nice and slow, draw yourself up. Extend your arms out. Bring your hand onto your back thigh, flip your front palm over, reverse your warrior. Eye gaze goes up. Exhale back into your warrior two. Then from here, extend the front leg. Draw your back hip towards the back of the mat. Reach your front fingertips forward, so really lean. And then nice and slow, begin to hinge as you find your triangle pose. Your hands can come onto your leg, the floor, or a block. See if you can take your eye gaze up towards your thumb and really rotate the lower ribs up. Keep a little micro bend in the front leg. Connect to the breath. Then nice and slow, bend into the front knee, bring your right hand down, pick up your back heel and take your left arm up. Then nice and slow, frame your front foot, push into the mat, find your plank position, move through your vinyasa. When you arrive in your upward facing dog, tuck your left toes, point your right toes behind you, use your foot to draw you back up. Then bend the knee and drop the foot over towards the left side. Then as you round forward, you're going to align your pigeon pose. So see if you can keep drawing the leg up, move nice and slow, knee comes in front of the wrist, foot comes in front of the thigh, keep your back toes tucked. Bring your fingertips to frame your front leg. Inhale, squeeze your knees together and draw yourself up. Nice, strong, active legs. Exhale, release. Inhale, squeeze up. Exhale, release. Last one, inhale, squeeze up. Exhale, release. And from here, you can use your hands on the ground or you can bring your hands onto the block, whatever works for you. You're going to push down with your arms to draw yourself up. Active legs, and then you're going to bend the back knee as you draw the leg and the foot towards you. So once again, imagine there's a little nut between your legs and you're trying to crack it. So really squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Draw yourself up with your arms. Connect to the breath. Then nice and slow, release the leg, release your box, and walk your arms forward. Here we'll take a reclined pigeon, so you can drop the crown of your head, or maybe bring your hands on top of each other to rest your forehead on. Finding a few breaths. And just seeing if there's anywhere in your body that you can soften a little so you can fall deeper into the experience. Then when you're ready, slowly walk your hands back. You're going to roll onto the right side, bring your back foot forward. So I'm just going to adjust myself so you can see there's a few options here. Keep the left leg forward, and you can grab onto the foot of the right leg, the right foot. Grab onto the right knee, and you can just rock from side to side if this feels good. If you want to go a little deeper, you can bring the sole of this foot into the eye of the elbow. Wrap your arms around your leg and draw it really close towards you. Draw up through the crown of your head, so nice long spine, and just continue to find that rocking motion. Then from here, release. We're just going to roll over our knees and we find our downward facing dog again. If you need to, pedal through the feet. Take your eye gaze forward and step or hop towards the top of your mat. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Eye gaze goes up. Exhale, hands through center. Connect to the breath. Then when you're ready, lean, ground down through the feet, lean to the right. Draw the left knee up. Squeeze the inner thighs together and then begin to point the toe forward. Then nice and slow, rotate your leg out towards the side. As you sweep it behind you, start to bend into your front knee, and you're going to find your warrior two. So move slow. Align your heel to arch alignment. Extend your arms out. Ground down through the edges of the feet and take your eye gaze forward. On your next inhale, interlace your hands, puff your heart up, and then as you exhale, humble down into your humble warrior. Crown comes down. Push the energy down into the feet. Then nice and slow, draw yourself up. Keep your legs as they are. Extend the arms out. Back palm comes onto the back thigh. Flip your front palm over. Reverse your warrior, arm goes up. Nice and slow, come back through center. Straighten the front leg. Draw your back hip towards the back of the mat. And then reach your fingertips forward as you lean. Then hinge as you come down and find your triangle pose. Work to rotate the bottom ribs up. Eye gaze maybe goes up towards the ceiling. Then bend into the front knee. Left hand comes down. Right hand goes up. Nice and slow, right hand comes down. Push into the mat. Find your plank position. Move through your chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. From here, tuck the right toes. Draw the left toes behind you and use them to draw yourself up. Three-legged dog, bend the knee, open the hip. Then begin to shift your weight forward, align your pigeon pose. Knee comes in front of the wrist, foot comes in front of the thigh. Keep your back toes tucked. Frame your front leg. Inhale, draw your knees towards each other to pull yourself up. Strong, active legs. Exhale, release. Inhale. Exhale. Last one, inhale. And as you exhale, come down. If they're available to you, grab your blocks. Ground down to lift yourself up. So you really want to work to draw up and avoid sinking into the lower back. And then you're going to begin to bend your back knee, draw your foot towards you. Imagine that you're trying to break that little nut Nice, strong, active leg. Squeeze, 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 squeeze as you pull up. Continue to breathe. Then nice and slow, release the leg. Remove your blocks. And we find our pigeon pose, recline pigeon pose. Drop your head and you can untuck the back toes. Connect to the breath. And then when you're ready, slowly walk your hands back. Lean to the left as you bring your back foot forward. I'm just going to adjust myself so you can see. Stay where you are. Right leg extends out. Grab onto the foot and the knee of the left leg and begin to rock. If you want to go a little deeper, bring the sole into the eye of the elbow and draw your knee in towards your chest. Draw up through the crown of your head. Try to avoid rounding through the spine. Just find that rocking motion and continue to breathe into the hip space. And then when you're ready, slowly release the leg and we just roll over the knees and we find our downward facing dog. From here, take your eye gaze forward, step or hop to the top of the mat. Inhale into a flat back, eye gaze goes forward. Exhale, hold over the thighs. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Eye gaze goes up. Exhale, hands through center. Then from here, you're just going to take a step towards the back of your mat. Toes pointing forward. You're going to bring your hands onto your hips, draw your elbows in and puff your heart up towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, we're going to come into a wide-legged forward fold. Keep a little micro bend in the knees, bring your hands onto the ground. Work to draw your hips up as you ground down through both edges of the feet. And then as you inhale, lift your chest up. Exhale, fold. One more, inhale. Exhale. Then when you're ready, bring your hands onto your hips. Slowly draw yourself up. This time, just draw the heels in, toes out. We're going to come into our goddess pose. So bring your hands onto your hips. You want to sink down. So bend your knees, sink down, and make sure that your knees are stacked over your heels. You want to really open out here. So sit down and just make sure that your booty isn't sticking out too much. So work to draw it down. You can keep your hands on your hips, or if you want, you can bring your hands into a prayer position. And just see if you can find a little pulsing. Really push down through the feet. Feel nice and long through the crown of the head. Just feel the activation of the legs. Continue to connect to the breath. Nice deep inhales and exhales in, out through the nose. Then hold. Feel the strength, feel the heat. Connect to that fire. Then nice and slow, slower than you want to go, begin to stand. Take a nice long inhale through the nose. Exhale, side release. Then from here, we're going to take a malasana squat. So I want you to, once again, shorten your stance a little bit. Big toes point out, heels in. You're going to get to sink down. You want to really draw up through the crown of the head, so try to avoid rounding. Bring your elbows onto your knees and work to push your knees away, but at the same time, pull your knees in. So your elbows are pushing out, your knees are pushing in, feeling long through the crown of the head. Then maybe bring the right hand down. We'll take a little twist. Left arm goes up. Left arm comes down. Right arm goes up. Back through center. Then nice and slow, see if you can come all the way down onto your bum. Take the soles of the feet together, draw the knees out. Bring your hands onto your feet. Work to draw the knees down. Lift your chest up, lengthen through the spine, and then begin to fold forward, but try to avoid rounding, so keep the chest lifted. Connect to the breath here. Then when you're ready, nice and slow, rise. Just plant the soles of your feet, bring your hands by your side, and just drop your knees from side to side. Then from here, we'll lower all the way down onto the back. When you arrive, draw your knees in towards your chest and wrap your arms around your shin. Give yourself a nice big squeeze. Then grab onto the outer edges of the feet, draw the feet up towards the ceiling, and then draw the knees out wide. Pull the feet down and we come into our happy baby. Work to keep the crown of the head and the lower back rooted into the earth. And maybe if it's available to you, you can find some rocking. Connect to that breath again. Allow it to ground you down into whatever it is that you feel. Then when you're ready, nice and slow, release. Bring your feet to the edges of the mat. Take your arms out into a cactus, drop your knees to the right, and then take your eye gaze away from your knees. Gentle twist here. And then slowly come back through center. Drop the knees to the other side. Eye gaze goes in the opposite direction. Slowly come back through center. Give yourself one last squeeze. Maybe roll out the lower back. And then we come into our last position, our Shavasana. Take the legs out. Windshield wiper the feet from side to side. Extend the arms out. Allow the back of the head and the heart to feel heavy. Reconnect to the breath here. Release any of your weight, any physical or emotional or mental tension. Let it be taken away with gravity. Using the breath to settle the nerves. And you can stay here as long as you need. Our Shavasana is always important, so allow this time to settle back into the body and integrate any information that might have been processed through the physical practice. Just let it be soft and gentle and juicy. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in the next one.